Good evening. It is Tuesday the 11th. I'm not feeling fabulous. My head's been really bad all day. I ended up basically cancelling everything. On a Tuesday, usually my cleaner comes, and so does Savannah, my PA. So I had to cancel all that and take some strong painkillers and go back to bed, which, you know, Archie liked, because that means he gets to sleep on me all day, but lucky him. Anyway, I've had some dinner and put some lipstick on. Thought it might make me look less dead. I think it's worked. Hurrah. Oh, here he comes. Are you going to say hello? Hold on a sec. Oh, no, he's laid on my foot and he might knock the 3-leg tripod. So sorry if that happens. Anyway, excuse me. Yeah, I thought today I would tell you about another couple of finished objects, neither of which I have here to show you because they were both for somebody else. So first of all, we have got what I have been calling #NotMyProject, which is a cardigan for my mum that she started knitting, and she knit sort of like 2/3 of the back, and then she hit the shaping and went, oh. Which in fact was understandable because the pattern was not very helpful. My mum's not a regular knitter. She's a crochet. She's very, she's brilliant at crochet. And while she has knit things in the past, notably a pair of socks and a jumper for my dad when they were courting in the 60s, the boyfriend curse apparently didn't strike, so I mean, lucky for me, my brother. Anyhow, yes, and she's knitted a few bits and pieces, and she's a perfectly good knitter, but it's just not her thing. And she's not used to knitting big, garments for herself, sort of size projects anyway. Yeah, so I offered to take it over and finish it for her, because she'd had it a really long time just sitting in a bag. Yeah, so I volunteered, and I've been doing it on and off between other things because, it was just not an urgent project since she's been ignoring it for years. So the pattern is the Go Everywhere, Go With Everything cardigan from Stitch and Bitch, that old chestnut. That book that everybody in 2002-03 was buying to learn to knit from. And I got it. I didn't learn to knit from it because my friend Charlotte taught me, or re-taught me, because I learned when I was like 6, and then knit one thing and it wasn't perfect, so because I was like that as a 6-year-old, and I guess I still am now. But yeah, the learning to knit part of this book is fine, but the projects, some of them are alright, but some of them I would not say that they were for a beginning knitter. Or rather, the finished product I can see as being something that a beginning knitter should find easy, but the patterns are quite abbreviated, quite brief, and yeah, there's not a lot of explanation built in. So yes, not ideal for somebody who's not used to that sort of thing. Okay, yeah, go everywhere, go with it. Yeah, go everywhere, go with everything cardigan. I might dispute that, but yeah, it's fine. So like a casual cardigan, and the idea is that it's got mohair, a crocheted mohair. Oh bother! I had the other flap marking the pattern. Now I've lost it. I have to flip through. Yes, it's got the crochet edging mohair. I don't think Mum's going to do that. She might. But she started it out with putting a bit of moss stitch on the bottom, which I then continued, and I put it on the edges of the cuff, just like 2 rows. So I think she was not planning to do the crochet edging, or maybe she will around the, yeah, that bit. Okay, hang on, let me find the pattern. And here it is. That's it. 2 pages of a not very large book, and most of 1 page is the, yeah, there's only 2 lines of that page are actually directions. Most of it's blurb and, you know, material instruction, recommendation, blah blah. So essentially that is the pattern. It's not even a whole page, because you've got, that's just diagrams, and all that's got is you know, some measurements and stuff. So basically, and now I can't see this properly because distance glasses, but yes, it gives the instructions for the back, which isn't too bad, except, you know, it's got instructions. I assume it expects you to look up the instructions in the glossary of this book, but not wanting to lug the book around, my mum, you know, fairly naturally photocopied the page. So she didn't have the book to hand while she was actually doing it. Yeah, she's fine with, you know, things like bind off at the beginning of the row, but it's when it says like just decrease 1 each side at certain points at the same time as doing something else, and her brain screeches to a halt, because that's something like maths, I guess. But the front pieces make 2 reversing shaping, and this is one where it's got do this and this and at the same time, blah blah blah. Now I read it through, and my solution was that I then wrote out each front piece for myself in advance, so that when I actually got to it, I actually had the detailed written out instructions. But that's because I could interpret the pattern well enough. Yeah, and yeah, so it's, as I said, very, very short pattern. Not what I would suggest for somebody doing their first garment, or, you know, their first garment in 50 years. Yeah. So anyway, this is what it looks like when I've finished it, because I just did the pieces. As you can see, so Mum will be doing the sewing up, because I don't do that if I can possibly avoid it. I don't mind it for like smaller things, but not a whole cardigan, thanks, no. So it's gone back to sit in a bag in her house for probably another 10 years. I shall nag her about it, and hopefully she will get it done and wear it. Oh, the yarn was, I don't even know, something from a pound shop probably. It's just like an acrylic DK of unknown provenance. Okay, the other one I was going to tell you about were the second pair of By Chance socks that I knit. That's the socks by Joe Shaw, which you roll the dice for. Pattern thingy there to remind your jog your memory. That's the thing. Yes, so Savannah loved mine so much that I offered to make some for her, and the yarn I used for it was a sock set that I got from Giddy Aunt Yarns. I think it was 50 grams of the pink and 20 of the black. So I topped that up with another mini skein of black yarn from Giddy Aunt Yarns that was part of the Goth, is it just called Goth? Goth Rainbow, I think, mini set. I think the blacks were maybe like half shade different, but certainly not enough that it notices in the finished socks. Yes, so that's what I used for these. As you see, they came out beautifully. I love them, and Savannah loves them, which is helpful. Yeah, I got her, in this case I got her to roll the dice in advance, and then I wrote down what her rolls were, whereas with mine I rolled the dice as I got to each section, and yeah, so that's how they came out. She has quite large feet, 6.5, 7. I mean, it's a lot bigger than my feet. I've got a size 4. So yes, I had to do more repeats, more sections in the foot for hers anyway, and also made them, I think I made them longer than mine because she wanted them quite long in the leg. Yes, but I am delighted with how those turned out. Very, very nice, and I think, as I have said before, I will probably be making another pair for myself, just in 2 colours, like these ones, and yeah, I think that's probably about it. Oh, sorry. Yes, that is it. So I hope you're all well. I actually ended up going on for much longer than I expected I would. I think I babbled a bit, so I hope I wasn't talking too fast. Yeah, so stay safe and happy and all that lovely stuff, and I will be back again tomorrow. Bye!